Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So we're taking a break from our decode here so I can answer Danny's question as well as possible right at this minute. Um so and we're going to get into something else here. Danny asked, when I have time, would I do a new video? Will I please recap what, in summary, as simply as possible, the gematria numerical values represents? If it's possible, I'm trying to piece together how numbers line up with the intuitive pattern recognitions. Why did these patterns connect? Um, and he's trying to figure out how we have cross-referenced material. All right. Well, I tried to get too technical and ended up putting out something I had to retract. But that's okay because I'm not perfect and I'm going to make mistakes as I go along. Obviously, if I catch them, I'm going to come right out and tell you guys that I made a mistake. But as far as the cross-reference material goes, as far as how the numbers line up goes, I thought this through, and my theory would be, all right, so let's take a look at this here. Here you have a bunch of stuff that we found in the decode, and here you have 4 base ciphers for each thing. All right. Now, if this was a quantum computer running a calculation, bear in mind all 15 effects that we've calculated so far possess and contain the number 24, 42, 204, 420. All right. So this would be a really easy way so that if you have, let's get rid of this because it's confusing. So you come down here and you have 2, 4. So you have 24 here. For instance, because that's where they're all at, so that's where they all connect so far. As soon as you hit that 24, now, suddenly, you have easy access. You have, as soon as you hit 24, you can calculate off of the entirety of all these other calculations just through the number 24. Now, here's another one. 36, and there's 24 in this. 42 right here. So as soon as they hit that number, they can calculate off of all of this. So 36, 18, 45, 18. And I can't do it because of the way I did this. But you could take 36, 18, 45, 18, 203, 95, 229, 85, and put these numbers together. At that point, and run a whole other calculation off of that. You could reference all of the calculations off of just the number 24. Now, let's suppose in the future, at some point, we find one that doesn't contain the number 24. It would only have to hit a couple of other number categories, and you'd have all of your other calculations that you could reference in your current calculation, if that makes any sense. It's brilliant, actually. So all these hook up through these gematria numbers, and not just the number 24, obviously, but all these. But if you had one that had all of them in it, or most of them in it, you'd only have to hit a couple of numbers, and you could calculate off of all these other calculations as part of your new calculation. So I think that's why you have cross-reference materials. I think they do cross-reference. I think they cross-reference their other changes. Now, buddy, no, stop. I think they cross-reference. I think they do cross-reference their material there. It's pretty simple. You hit the number 24. You can calculate all the other changes so far. But you can use the entirety of those calculations at that point in what you're looking for, or pick and choose. It would be a very simple way to connect back to to previous calculations. A very, very simple, fast way to calculate back to other calculations. So, and apparently I erased this, but I'll put it back up. But I would also like to point out, so that's my answer. It's a very simple reference point. All right. For the other calculations, should you choose to use them in your calculation that you're doing. Now, ideally, guys, we should have people who are good at math working on these equations. I mean, there's a lot of information here once you get down this far. And while we're on this video, while we're doing this, I'm going to ask something here. If not a quantum computer running these calculations, that's still our theory, that it's a quantum computer doing this. What else would it be? I can hear simulation people going, well, it's a simulation. Well, only if you had infinite memory on whatever you were simulating. There wouldn't be enough memory to run this calculation unless you had a quantum computer or something. So what else could it be? I'm not sure. Our theory is it's a quantum computer. We should have people working on this, but we don't. I don't have anybody that I have a person, but he's pretty busy. So I don't know if I could get him to deal with this stuff. If anyone else is good at math, and thinks they could come up with some equations, let me know. I could come up with some simple ones, because these aren't real answers. These are just examples. But if you had an answer to a bunch of equations or one big equation, you'd have a whole other set of numbers to go off of here. And you could keep calculating. Like, these calculations would not end until the computer got their answer, or got its answer. So, to recap, I think those gematria connections are for a simple reference point, in part for a simple reference point. Not to mention, if they're doing, if they're into Kabbalah, if these guys are into those calculations anyway. I mean, if you look, if you watch Zach's channel, Gematria Effect Sports, Gematria Effect News, you'll know that that gematria is everywhere. They use it in the news. They use it in sports. You can predict sports outcomes with this code. So there's just all sorts of applications for it. And if they're using them with the quantum computers, that could be one of their reasonings. That could be one of the reasons we have cross-reference materials, so they can easily cross-reference other calculations through the number 24. if they weren't all in the number 24, you'd only have to hit 2 or 3 numbers and you'd have them all. That the interweave thing. So you'd have them all. Anyway, and you could then go and use those calculations. You could, once again, you could take all these numbers, these 4 ciphers, and smash them together. And we could do that just with Manwich. But they could do it with all of the calculations, guys, not just Manwich. If they, as soon as you have the number 24 at this point, you have all 15. So they could take and smash all of these 4 base ciphers together of everything that we found in everything and run an unimaginable calculation. Just look at all those numbers. So I think they're cross-referencing their own material. I think that's why we have cross-reference material, and that's part of the answer. I don't know that that's the whole answer, but I will say that's part of the answer. I'm pretty sure that's part of the answer, and it's brilliant. I mean, those guys are brilliant. You know, you're running such a complex calculation. How easy is it if they all line up at the number 24 or in 2 or 3 different numbers? And they can cross-reference other calculations. I think that's part of it. So hopefully this helps. You stop what you're doing. And so hopefully this helps. Hopefully this is a satisfactory answer this time. And if not, let me know and I'll try again. So we'll do genetics next in the alphabetic order. And I'm still thinking and wondering if we shouldn't smash these numbers and letters together, just this simple first part even. 1314ACMADN, and run the numbers and letters and see what's there, because I think that's really what's going on. I think they're running these through categories and finding all sorts of information, guys, more than I could possibly hope to find. And then they're smashing all this together and running it again, and then making equations. I think that's what's going on. And I couldn't hope to figure out what the equations meant or even come close. But I mean, if we had some people willing to take this up out there, some other channels or something that had, some sort of a background in math or knew anything about this stuff, calculus, even algebra, I think we could go a long way. I think we could find a lot of interesting information with this. But that's kind of out of my league a little bit. I could do my best. But hopefully this helps. So anyway, we'll get on with this at some point. So hopefully this is an suitable answer. So for now, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down when appropriate. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks for watching, guys. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.